It's no secret that Sigma males are rare and sometimes eccentric individuals who don't fit into the traditional norms of society. They often march to the beat of their own drum, and their unique behaviors can sometimes leave us scratching our head. While they're not out to draw attention to themselves, Sigma men often have some quirks that set them apart. They are independent, mysterious, and unmoved by social pressures. But sometimes, these men do some things that may seem weird or even crazy. They're very unpredictable, and you'll never know what they'll do next. But every crazy or unusual thing they do comes from their deep-rooted need for privacy and psychological freedom from the confines of social norms. While some of you can relate to the Sigma male, some things still surprise even their closest friends and family. Here are 10 crazy things all Sigma males do. 1. Keeping secrets even from people closest to them. Everyone's got loose lips these days. They spill every little detail about themselves to their so-called friends and expect everyone else to do the same. However, Sigma men are a whole different breed. They're notorious for being highly secretive, even with their closest friends and family members. They prefer to keep certain parts of their life entirely under wraps. These men can have deep conversations with their loved ones every day, but when sharing private details, they zip it tight. This intense need for privacy comes from wanting independence and maintaining control over their own lives. Sigma men are not interested in being fully known by anyone because that would mean losing power over their existence. Instead, they reveal things selectively, keeping an air of mystery. This can be frustrating for friends and family who want emotional closeness but feel shut out. However, these men make no apologies for their secrecy. They crave the freedom to unfold on their own terms. Sigma men blaze their own trails and share only what they want, with whom they want. For them, privacy is where the power lies. 2. Turning themselves into invisible or busy on social media profiles. Sigma males may use social media, but it's not to check in or post status updates about everything in their lives. They don't feel the need to stay virtually connected or broadcast every moment of their life online. They sometimes make themselves invisible or busy on social media without any clear reason. This way, they can keep a certain level of privacy and control over their time. They don't have to worry about anyone intruding on their space with requests or messages. It's like a game of cat and mouse. They pop in and out without drawing too much attention to themselves. Staying invisible is one way for them to remain autonomous while still having access to the digital world. These guys come and go online whenever they want, not because they feel they have to. Staying virtually unseen gives them the freedom to do their own thing without feeling obligated to answer to anyone. Sigma men are highly independent and prefer keeping a low-key profile on different platforms. These guys can go off the grid for days or even weeks and then reappear without a trace. They can also be selective about who they connect with on social media, only adding those who fit their ideals or have the same values. 3. Reading WhatsApp messages without opening the chat so messages remain unseen. The digital era has brought new ways of communication, but Sigma males have found a way to navigate this landscape with their own unique twist. When someone sends them a message on WhatsApp, they often secretly read it directly from notification pop-ups without opening the message thread. This clever move lets them read the message without the sender knowing whether they've seen it or not. They can satisfy their curiosity by peeking at the message preview while keeping the upper hand of not officially marking the message as read. The sender is left wondering if their message was missed or intentionally ignored. This secretive behavior on social media allows Sigma men to quietly observe conversations without fully engaging, participating, or losing control. They can gather information and assess discussions on their own terms while avoiding vulnerability. For these men, reading WhatsApp messages without fully opening them is just another tactic to maintain their independence in the digital world. While not only Sigma men may do this, they do it to a higher degree than most, always choosing selective engagement over total immersion. 4. Imagining themselves in situations that will never happen. Unlike most people who mainly focus on the external world, Sigma men possess a rich and vivid inner world of imagination. They frequently find themselves immersed in daydreams and scenarios that may never come to fruition in reality. For example, they might picture themselves finally making their boss regret how they treated them, or simply thinking how it might be if they were a successful football or basketball player. While these scenarios usually stay in their heads, they still enjoy the escape from reality and all of its pressures. These men understand that life isn't a fairy tale, but still let their minds wander to places they'll probably never go. These mental creations are proof of their boundless creativity and brilliant minds. While these scenarios might exist solely within their minds, they offer an outlet for emotional release, enabling the Sigma male to navigate his emotions without expressing them outwardly. These what-if fantasies within their inner world function as a means for these men to thoroughly explore their potential. It becomes a place where they can experiment with different versions of themselves and contemplate how they would handle challenges and conflicts. This process is often therapeutic and can help them understand themselves better. The divide between their creative thoughts and the external world evolves into a playground for their inventiveness and visionary thinking. 5. They often refuse to take photos. While many people would love to be in front of the camera, Sigma men usually refuse to take pictures. It's not that they don't like to pose or be photographed. They just want to enjoy the present moment without spending extra time taking countless photos. They would rather be in the moment and savor it than interrupt the experience with a photo shoot. Many people spend a lot of time trying to take the perfect picture to post on their social media profiles. They could ruin their own experience by constantly worrying about how they look and trying to get the best angle. Sigma men don't buy into this superficial obsession. Few pictures are more than enough for them, and they don't feel the need to post every single one to prove something. They'd rather spend time living life than documenting it for others to see. Refusing to take photos is another way for these men to stay autonomous and control their experiences. They don't want anyone else dictating how they should act or what kind of pictures they should take. It's all about freedom and choice. Sigma males do not allow themselves to be bound by the modern obsession of having to post perfect pictures all the time. They don't need to be validated by anyone else. They are already comfortable in their own skin. 6. Wearing earbuds or headphones with no audio when tired of small talk. One common tactic Sigma males use to shut people out is wearing earbuds or headphones in public without actually playing any music. When forced into draining social situations like small talk, wearing earbuds allows these men to signal that they're preoccupied with something else. This provides a convenient barrier to prevent people from trying to start a conversation with them without making it too obvious that they're trying to avoid them. Behind this curtain of business, these men can find relative peace and anonymity in public spaces, blocking any attempts at conversation before they arise. Sigma men aren't trying to be rude. They simply don't have the patience or energy for idle chatter. They easily get tired of small talk or boring conversations with people with nothing in common. Unlike others, they won't try to force a conversation. They don't mind staying alone if they have to, as long as they are not trying to force a conversation. If they want to talk, they'll take off their headphones. They usually don't keep them on when the conversation is interesting and engaging. This is also a sign of respect, showing their full attention to the conversation. This could be a way for Sigma men to verbally express their introversion without coming straight out and saying it. At its core, this practice is more about preserving personal space than anything else. These men tend to value their own time and peace of mind above all else, so having an invisible barrier to protect it is crucial. 7. They are not interested in making calls without a clear topic to discuss. While many people don't mind randomly calling up a friend for no reason at all, the Sigma male isn't one of them. They prefer to avoid aimless calls as much as they can. They don't generally like talking over the phone, so such conversations only waste their time and energy. To make things worse, these men often get tired of small talk quickly, as it is not stimulating or engaging enough for them. Making calls without a clear goal wastes time for Sigma men, as they don't want to be involved in long conversations that go nowhere. The only phone calls they enjoy are those that serve some purpose or have a clear topic to discuss. Sigma men also value their time and prefer to spend it on enjoyable and necessary activities. Taking random calls from people they don't know or don't have much in common with doesn't fall into either of these categories. That's why they would rather skip the call altogether than engage in pointless conversations. If someone does manage to catch them at the right time, they might be willing to take the call. But usually these men will only respond when it's something important, or if they know that the discussion will likely lead somewhere meaningful. 8. Leaving conversations abruptly and appearing to be uninterested. Some people think that Sigma men are rude because they tend to end conversations abruptly or often appear uninterested during conversations. However, this isn't necessarily true. It's just their way of communicating. Sigma males don't like long and drawn-out discussions, so they always look for a way to wrap things up quickly. This could involve subtly changing the subject or abruptly ending the conversation altogether. They also have a habit of appearing uninterested in conversations. It's not because they're intentionally rude, it's just their way of processing information. These guys absorb and analyze information differently than most people, so they don't always show the same engagement level as others in conversation. Unsurprisingly, this behavior can be confusing for other people. They may take it as a sign of disinterest or even rudeness, neither of which is true for Sigma. They just think and communicate differently. Once the real information they need has been said, Sigma males tend to lose interest in a conversation. They don't like aimless discussions, so they always look for a way to wrap things up quickly. 9. Thinking a lot before uttering a word. People don't pay much attention to what comes out of their mouth, lacking any filter for their words. They don't even think twice before they blurt out something. However, Sigma males are the complete opposite. They carefully choose their words and will invest a lot of thought into what they're about to say beforehand. Their words carry weight, so it's important to them that whatever they say is meaningful and purposeful. They don't feel the need to fill the silence or just say something to appear polite. Sigmas are usually quiet and reflective, choosing their words carefully before speaking. This isn't because they have nothing to say. They just think a lot before uttering a word. This can be seen in the way they talk, as they try to be straightforward and concise with their conversations. They don't want to waste anyone's time, including their own. 10. Wishing that the person sitting beside them doesn't start talking. While out in public or at social events, Sigma males can often be seen wishing that the person sitting beside them doesn't start talking. They don't really like to engage with strangers who talk just to be polite. Sure, they can engage in small talk and be polite, but they don't want to do it for more than a few minutes. They much rather prefer to stay quiet and observe their environment or focus on a task at hand. Small talk is seen as an energy drain and potential distraction from the things that are important to them. Sigmas also tend to be very selective with who they engage in deeper conversations. This isn't because they don't enjoy talking. They just don't have the energy to engage with everyone who comes their way. As introverts, they need some time alone and away from people to recharge their social batteries. They're not much interested in talking just for the sake of it. They like meaningful conversations on topics that matter to them.